Imagine a young boy from a tiny Mississippi town who would ignite a revolution in music. A man whose hips would shock a nation, whose voice would captivate millions, and whose life would end in mystery and tragedy. This is the story of Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. Tupelo, Mississippi, January 8, 1935. A small wooden house stands in the middle of a dusty street, where a boy named Elvis Aaron Presley takes his first breath. The world has no idea yet that this fragile infant, born to Vernon and Gladys Presley, will one day become the king of rock and roll. Life for young Elvis is far from easy. His father struggles with employment, moving from one job to another, while his mother, doting but often overwhelmed, ensures that her son knows love, if not stability. As a child, Elvis is shy, thoughtful, and profoundly aware of the music that drifts through his small town. Gospel hymns from the local church, the blues from the radio, and country tunes from traveling performers seep into his consciousness. He learns early that music is not just sound. It is escape, it is hope, it is a way to rise above circumstances that seem predetermined. By the time he is 10, he is already singing in church, his voice trembling with raw emotion, a hint of the magnetism that will one day captivate the entire globe. But his childhood is not without struggle. He is witness to the hardships of the Great Depression and the occasional cruelty of peers, mocked for his slight frame and odd, clumsy movements. Yet these hardships forge resilience. They create the hunger, the inner fire, the relentless ambition that will drive him to stages he cannot yet imagine. The young boy in Tupelo does not yet know fame, fortune, or the pressures of celebrity. He only knows music, and he knows that one day the world will hear him. It is a quiet beginning, but every legend begins quietly, and in the dusty streets of Mississippi, the first chords of a revolution are about to sound. By 1948, Elvis's family has moved to Memphis, Tennessee, a city brimming with musical possibilities. Sun Records is just a few blocks away, and the rhythms of Beale Street call to him. Elvis, now a teenager, works odd jobs to help support his family, but he never lets go of his guitar, a gift from his mother that becomes an extension of his soul. In 1953, at 18 years old, he walks into Sun Records with a simple request: to record a song for his mother. Little does he know, this small act will set history into motion. Sam Phillips, the owner of Sun Records, notices something extraordinary in Elvis's voice. There is a raw, untamed energy, a fusion of black rhythm and blues with white country music, creating a sound that has never been heard before. In 1954, Elvis records That's All Right, and suddenly the world is listening. His first performances on local radio ignite a frenzy. Teenagers are mesmerized, parents are bewildered, and the media scrambles to define this new sound. It is electric, controversial, and undeniably powerful. Elvis dances like no one has seen before, his hips swaying with a rhythm that feels both innocent and provocative. He is criticized for corruption, for challenging the moral norms of the time, yet adored by fans who see freedom in every note, every move. By 1955, RCA Victor signs him, and Elvis's rise becomes unstoppable. National television appearances turn him into a household name. Every performance is more than music. It is a cultural phenomenon. His blue suede shoes, his slicked-back hair, his vibrant personality. Elvis is a storm sweeping across America. And yet, beneath the glittering veneer of fame, he remains a young man grappling with sudden wealth, adoration, and expectations far beyond his years. The story of Elvis Presley is no longer just about a boy from Tupelo. It is the story of a man reshaping the world with the power of music. By the late 1950s, Elvis is at the pinnacle of stardom. His movies, his records, and his live performances make him a multimillionaire, but life offstage is far from simple. The pressures of fame, constant touring, and a media obsessed with his every move weigh heavily on him. His first heartbreaks, the growing sense of loneliness, and the realization that true privacy is impossible haunt him. In 1958, Elvis is drafted into the U.S. Army, a move that shocks fans and the industry alike. For many, it seems the end of an era, but Elvis uses this time to prove his resilience. Stationed in Germany, he hones his musical craft, meets a young woman named Priscilla, and experiences a world far beyond the stage lights. By the time he returns to America, he is no longer just a pop sensation. He is a man with life experiences that will deepen the emotional intensity of his music. The 1960s bring both triumph and tragedy. Elvis's movies dominate the box office. His records sell by the millions. Yet critics question his artistic depth. Fans adore him, but Elvis longs for respect not just as a performer, but as a musician, a serious artist. He experiments with different styles, blending gospel, country, and rock, yet battles the pressure to remain the king in a world obsessed with youth and novelty. Behind the curtain, his marriage to Priscilla brings both joy and strain. They become the face of American glamour, yet private struggles remain. The king is both adored and misunderstood, a man whose fame becomes both a blessing and a cage. As his music evolves, so does the man, but the shadows of pressure, addiction, and the relentless pace of celebrity begin to grow longer. It is a time of dazzling success, yet quietly, the storm is building. The 1970s present a different Elvis. Now an international icon, his concerts in Las Vegas and around the world draw enormous crowds. Yet the king is changing. Health issues, prescription drugs, and the relentless demands of fame begin to take a toll. Every performance is electric, every note charged with emotion. Yet behind the scenes, Elvis struggles with fatigue, heartbreak, and the knowledge that his life is under constant scrutiny. Fans still see the dynamic, swiveling hips, the powerful voice, the charisma, but few witness the man behind the legend. In 1973, the televised Aloha from Hawaii concert showcases Elvis at the height of his performance powers, broadcast to millions around the globe. It is a triumph, yet also a reminder of the pressures that never cease. Personal life is complicated. Relationships are fragile, health deteriorates, and the king of rock and roll increasingly seeks solace in isolation, music, and the few people he truly trusts. Despite this, he continues to create, to record, and to perform, leaving a legacy that transcends time and genre. And yet, as the decade wanes, so too does the invincible aura of youth and power. The world adores him, yet the man behind the legend is weary, burdened by decades of constant attention and expectation. The stage remains his kingdom, but it is also his cage, where every note, every gesture, every song carries the weight of his entire life. The king's story is as much about triumph as it is about the price of fame. August 16, 1977. Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. The world loses Elvis Aaron Presley at the age of 42. The king of rock and roll dies in his home, surrounded by memories of a life lived at full intensity. The cause? A combination of heart issues and prescription drugs, though speculation and conspiracy theories about his final days swirl to this day. Fans around the globe mourn, lining the streets and leaving flowers, candles, and messages at Graceland. Millions grieve a man who was more than a musician. He was a symbol of rebellion, of freedom, of music's power to change the world. Elvis's legacy is immortal. From Tupelo to the world stage, from Sun Records to Graceland, he transformed culture, music, and the very idea of fame. He remains the king, not only of rock and roll, but of hearts, memories, and history itself. And as we remember him today, we are reminded that behind every icon lies a human story, filled with triumph, struggle, love, and loss. If you enjoyed this journey through Elvis's extraordinary life, don't forget to hit the like button, comment with your favorite Elvis moment, and subscribe for more stories that uncover the legends behind the music.